You are already wildly rich beyond measure. And in this video, I'm going to prove it to you beyond any doubt, any fear, any limiting belief or concept of lack that you might be entertaining about yourself, about the world, about reality. So sit back, relax, and let's shift into alignment with your wildly rich self, which is always already here. So that's the key. You have to be fully here, now, in order to recognize it. This timeless, eternal, present moment where you reside as the creator of your reality is where you recognize tangibly that nothing is apart from you. Any symbol that you give significance or meaning that represents wealth or possibility or freedom or connection or love or anything else that you could imagine, it is not separate from you, not separate from your consciousness, not apart from your awareness. And therefore, in truth, is in its essence a feeling, a frequency. And so to recognize that fact, that everything on the surface is merely a representation, a symbol of something more subtle, something more inherent, which is always beginning as a feeling, as a sense within you, as a self concept. You see, this relationship to yourself is most fundamentally what allows you to create anything in the world. And that is built as a construct or a system of beliefs. You see, you don't ever really experience the world or others. You really only ever experience your beliefs. And that's why I often say, you will not believe it when you see it, but you will see it when you believe it. And you see, if you have contradictory beliefs, which send out mixed frequencies and mixed signals as to what it is that you say that you want, you will not allow yourself to experience it. You will not allow yourself to even feel it. You will certainly not allow yourself to receive it or manifest it. And then it will seem as though within that experience that you are a victim to your circumstances. You are at the receiving end of life, that you are somehow apart from all that you want, rather than at the source of it. So to recognize this is the starting point. To remember, I am that I am. That I am the creator, and I am at the source of everything that I desire and wish to experience. Everything that I want to become is an internal state that gets outpressed into my reality. And it first and foremost begins with your beliefs. And so I want to clarify something here about beliefs, which is that we often think that there's some kind of mysterious, hidden, deep down in the subconscious or unconscious, buried under traumas and past experiences and all these difficulties, which we can maybe uncover with hypnotherapy or some kind of fancy technology or something apart from ourself. All of these things can be helpful. They're all very powerful permission slips for you to access what is already within you, which is actually very simply and easily available to you through your intention, through the willingness to inquire into what you must be believing. And that's the thing. Everywhere you look in your reality, in your experience right now, are your beliefs. They're hiding in plain sight. They're all around you. So you need only look at where things are seemingly falling short or less than what you would prefer. Anything that you say that you want but you're not experiencing, and anything that is sort of triggering you or rubbing you the wrong way, and to inquire this very powerful question: what must I be believing to be true in order to experience this? What must I believe to be true about myself, about other people, about reality, about the world, in order to have this experience like I'm having now? And through that intention, through that willingness, and through that inquiry, if you're actually open and receptive, willing to receive honestly the answer, then you will. Because ask and it will be given. There are no gatekeepers here. There are no locks on any doors. In truth, you are the master key, and it is through your earnestness and willingness, through your intention and attention, that everything is given to you. And so when you're willing to look in the present moment, here and now, at whatever is happening, honestly feeling what you're feeling, being responsible for your triggers and where things are not going the way that you would otherwise like them to go, and you slow down and you pause and you reflect and you remember, I'm at the source. I'm not a victim. I'm not at the receiving end. I am creating this. So what must I be believing in order to create this as my experience? And you might be surprised what you find. And this is the thing about these beliefs, is that we have been conditioned with all sorts of different programs and brainwashed with all sorts of different ideas of lack and all these different ways of kind of virtue signaling, trying to fit in, trying to stand out, trying to be a good person, all of which is actually undermining our natural emotional guidance system. Our body, our being, is so intelligent that it is always giving you everything that you need to recognize where you're limiting yourself, where there's room for expansion, and what it is that you truly desire. And it is merely one thought, one moment, one question away from being your conscious experience. But you have to be willing to slow down, be present here and now, and actually inquire into it. And no matter what it is that you want. You see, in the work that I do, I'm often working with entrepreneurs and artists and coaches of some kind, creators, right? And regardless of your goal, your vision, your mission, your intention, there are limiting beliefs. The reason why we have such desires is because we don't experience it, of course, right? So then in order to close the gap between where you are and where you are in that reality, right, in what you're believing in terms of what you need to be believing, what you must be believing, what you would be believing in that reality, right? In the case of the actions that you're holding yourself back from, the expressions that you're suppressing within yourself, and the version of you that is authentically, unapologetically acting on inspiration and expressing from your heart, you see that gap, this is what we collapse when we take account of our beliefs. And you see, through this question of what must I be believing to be true in order to not allow myself to receive an overflowing amount of abundance, the love that is available in relationships or within myself, the freedom to choose, to travel, to create, to experience all that I desire. You see, these are just some of the examples, but everything originates from a belief with a feeling, and that is where we get to work with the most subtle inner workings of consciousness and energy, which is then outpressed as your experience of reality. And you see, this is always already happening. Your beliefs are filtering what's happening through the lenses of your beliefs, and then you only really experience not what is, but what you believe. So even if there are many opportunities to make money, or many compliments from other people, many gestures or expressions of love towards you, or whatever it is that you desire, through your beliefs, you will filter those out to fit with your self-concept, to fit with your self-image. So from the human condition of unworthiness or lack of self-acceptance and self-love, we will deny and reject and abandon, completely overlook any compliments. And I'm sure you can relate to this in some way or another, that when someone says something nice about you, it's very quick to dismiss it in whatever way that we normally do. And then we think that we have something to be resentful for, or we have something to be angry about, or there's so many ways in which the reality is falling short as to what we desire. And then we have every reason, every piece of evidence to make sense based on what we're experiencing outside of ourselves as to why things are not going our way. And yet, it is always a perfect match to the belief that is filtering all the information, all the data, all what's happening through those lenses of self-perception. And so when it comes to money, for example, if I were to say to you right now, you are meant to be wildly rich. You are meant to be a millionaire. You are meant to have more than enough money to do everything that you could possibly dream of and more. Notice what happens in your body. Notice what you're feeling in response to that. You are meant to be wildly rich. Feel where you're contracting, where you're wincing, where you're, oh yeah, maybe you, maybe that person over there, maybe this person I've seen online, but not me. And you have all the right reasons to believe that's true. That's why this question of what must you be believing is true in order to experience what you're experiencing. And your body is giving you all the signs. Your emotional experience is guiding you into the truth of who you are. But you have to be willing to feel it. You have to be willing to see it. You have to be willing to accept it as it is. And then, from that fertile ground of acknowledgement, of acceptance, of surrender, now you can choose. Now you can choose to hear me when I say you are meant to be wildly rich. You are meant to be loved beyond your wildest dreams. You are meant to have everything that you want. You are the creator. You are at the source of everything that you desire. And so you don't have to earn it. You don't have to deserve it. You simply have to claim it and recognize all the ways in which you are resisting it. And so this is a very simple exercise that when you see something in the world, as you move through your days and you say, oh, that's lovely. I would love to experience more of that. Why am I not? What must I be believing to hold that away? The spontaneity, the playfulness, the lightheartedness, the joy, the creativity, the inspiration, the connection, the abundance, the freedom. You see, all of that, all of those are the qualities of your true self. And they are right there, waiting for you to claim through your own perception, through your own felt sense, and through your own shifting of your self-concept. And when you do this, your art forms will take on an expression that will be wildly rich. Working with your clients, serving, healing, guiding, will take on an unbelievable experience, which will be so fulfilling, so impactful, that you will blow your mind. That your business will go to the next level in a way that you could never have predicted or imagined, because you won't be holding yourself back. You'll be actively seeking all the ways in which you are holding yourself back and limiting yourself. And that becomes a fun game, an infinite game rather than a finite game. You see, the finite game is like who wins and who loses. But the infinite game is how long can I keep playing? And when that becomes the main driver, not winning or losing, which has all of these effects built into it, which are discouraging, encouraging, incentivizing, and all of this. The infinite game is simply incentivizing to keep playing. And to keep playing is to keep growing, to keep expanding, to keep elevating yourself, to keep experiencing novelty, to keep finding out, discovering who you are by stepping into the unknown, by facing your fears, facing your doubts, facing your insecurities, acting in courage, trusting yourself, believing in yourself, expressing yourself. All of this is the way to everything that you want and more in the wildly rich reality, which is already here and now, which is just being covered up, disguised, and distracted by these beliefs, these concepts of lack, all of which are merely one conscious, intentional thought away from being dissolved. And so, what will it be? Will you allow yourself to receive all that is wanting to come to you, through you, for everything and everyone in your life? Or will you choose to be right about why it's not working? and give yourself all of the excuses and the seeming evidence to reinforce that. The choice is yours. You are always already free, my friend. And if you are an entrepreneur, an artist, or a coach of some kind, and you're wanting to go through my Vortex Mastermind, a 12-week journey together with 12 creators that's beginning at the end of this month of September, comment Vortex down below. I'll send you more information about it. The spots are filling up. There are only a few left. The early bird is just about to end. So you can join at the lowest price it'll ever be, and you can be a part of this intimate, expansive experience with direct access to my guidance, direct access to 12 other creators in a private Telegram group, and over 12 calls over 12 weeks where we take your vision, your calling, your life's work to the next level. And you step into your true self and manifest your desired reality. And if that sounds like something fun, like something expansive, then I personally invite you to step into the vortex and dramatically and radically change your life. So comment vortex down below and I'll send you more information about it.